quickly because the head of the National Institute of Health says you can't shake hands anymore. You're just distributing viruses. Duh. Okay, and so we need to do something else to greet people, and we don't know what to do. And it's like, like I said, American football over there is like cricket over here. We have no. So you need to together a video.
Yes.
By the way, can I trademark that so I can make money every time somebody does that? not into capitalism, but
is that trademarking? I think we can trademark
Yeah, right. Trademark.
Trademarking happy birthday or copywriting happy birthday, right?
Yeah, somebody tried to do it. Copyright happy birthday. I'm serious. Okay, remember, this is America, and we know what our guiding principles are. We know what our guiding light is, and here it is. There it is, the guiding light, right? There's George. Okay, so the thing is, you always look for, how does this work? Follow the money. Where does that go? So, yeah, don't do that. Sacrilege.
Paul McCartney copyright Happy Birthday for a while, but anyway, we got another guest.
We have a special guest from Mexico City, Steffanie.
Yeah.
Hi, Steffanie. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. Steffanie, where are you beaming in from?
Sorry?
Where are you from? I mean, where are you beaming in from?
Oh, well, I'm in Mexico City.
Mexico City! You're right south of the border here. Okay, I'm trying to see what you say in Mexican Spanish. Gracias, right? There we go.
Mucho gracias.
De nada.
Gracias.
You're welcome.
There we go.
You're welcome.
Mucho trabajo.
Mm-hmm. So what's happening in Mexico with the coronavirus?
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have much information because what I know, it's just a little bit of what I see on news and what I'm experiencing as you know, as an individual. But this is my 4th week in isolation. And I'm already like super fit. I keep working out and reading a lot. And you know, that's basically my day by day.
Well, you're a smart lady. You're 4th week in isolation. You're super fit. I'm 4th week in isolation, and I'm going to Pringles sour cream potato chips because this is driving me nuts.
I also like cooking. Like I used to eat always like outside, and now I'm becoming like a chef kind of.
Okay, all right. So you're isolated, and you're actually in Mexico City, the city. The big city, one of the biggest cities in the world, by the way. They compete very heavily with New Delhi, which is also a very big city. But Mexico City and Sao Paulo are like huge. There's a projection that you guys are going to have like 20, 30 million people or some huge number and be the largest city in the world. I don't know why people are moving there. But let me ask you a question. Pollution. How is this affecting the pollution in Mexico City? The coronavirus.
That's a funny thing. The last time I saw the sky, it was not like more than a week ago, and we didn't see much difference. The thing is, a friend was telling me that maybe it's because we have a lot of industries here, and most of the pollution does not come actually from the cars. That we have a lot of traffic and, you know, like a lot of madness, but we can still see a little bit of pollution. I have a friend who has a rooftop, and he can see the volcanoes that we have around because it's a big valley. And we can, I mean, he sent me a picture like, I'm not able to see the volcanoes yet. And, you know, we're already like in the 3rd week. And since last week, that was kind of mandatory to be inside. The traffic like went down a little bit, but we didn't see much difference yet.
Not yet, but the thing is, if this continues, you'll actually be seeing the volcanoes. In India, they have pictures now because in India, you can see these mountains called the Himalayas. And they go, oh, what's that? That's the Himalayas. We've never seen that before. Oh, no. And then they look up and they go, the sky is blue? Wow, it's blue. I didn't know that. So in India, they already have pictures of the Himalayas. It looks really it looks spectacular. The photos I've seen from that city in the north end, Japalar, whatever you call it. What do you call the city in the north end, Ankit? What is it?
Jalandhar.
Jalinda. Okay. Anyway, Jalinda. You know, I mean, the scenery there is just staggering I mean, it's unbelievable because you can see the Himalayas out there. They're white capped. I mean, it's just gorgeous, So sooner or later, you'll actually see the volcanoes around Mexico City. And from what I understand, they're huge. They're like 18,000 feet up in the air. Is that true, Steffanie?
Yes, I don't have the number now, but I know that we are really high, and even though the mountains are even higher.
Right. Yeah, the mountains are really high over there in Mexico City, and so it's going to change. So there's some good news about the coronavirus shutting down the whole world is that it's getting rid of a lot of the pollution. So
we're not going to have to invest as much money in cleaning up the world, so we can put it back to where maybe helping. But Steffanie, share with us a little bit about what you're doing in Mexico to help the people. Because is everyone isolated, or how do they do that?
Well, what I know from my friends, the ones that can actually afford to be not working, they inside like me, like in the third or fourth week. But sadly, there's no many people that can do that. Like, I was watching a video that a friend shared with me of people in the markets, in the street markets, and they're still working, and they keep thinking, like, I mean, not keep thinking because maybe they don't have the information, but they need to to make money in order to bring food to their houses. So even though most of the people, we are isolated, and like the people in our I'm going to say segment of the society, we are isolated. There's also another segment of the society that still does not have the information, and they cannot afford to be inside, and they still go to work and still go to the market and try to sell things because, of course, they need that money.
What about the protection? I mean, if they're going out to the market, do they wear masks and gloves?
What I'm seeing in the videos, because I didn't go, I'm ordering food like from local restaurants, or like they bring in like the fresh products to you. But what I'm seeing is they wearing at least the blue masks. They try to do that. Also, I see the people on the streets sometimes they're wearing like scarves or something to like. I think we're being more conscious about that, about like, don't sneeze in public, don't touch everything, and try to wash your hands as much as possible. And I think it's one thing that is being good here in Mexico is every day, every night we have a public. From the government, we have a actual like a program with information about it, and they tell us like in very simplified words and simplified like graphics and everything how this thing is going, and also they use like a really like simple language so we can all understand what is going on.
Okay,
so I think that's one thing that is being good here.
Right.
What are the guidelines from the Mexico government in terms of taking the right precautions and keeping quarantine or isolated in this pandemic?
Well, as I say, I don't have that much information, but what are they doing? They're saying is because they took action like earlier than in other countries, they think that this is going to evolve good if we isolate at least the ones that we can do it. And also they present yesterday like a graphic of how they're looking into the numbers, and they know that for every one person that they assume that for every person that it's like a confirmed case of coronavirus, we have 8 people that didn't even come to the doctor, and they're probably also like sick. But they're trying to give us as much information as possible. They're trying to inform us and on how to like to stay healthy, like the 4 things that we have to do, that is try to be isolated if possible. They actually launch a funny program that's using like an analogy of a name, telling that you have to be like 3 feet away from someone else, and they use the name Susana Distancia, that is something like the healthy distance. Susana Distancia.
So is the country completely locked down, or still you have work to do?
Sorry?
So is the country locked down, or is your city locked down, or are you still working from home? The work is going on
No, since last week, on Monday last week, they announced like not mandatory because you. I mean, if you can still be outside, they're not going to use force to make you go inside. But like they already closed all the malls and restaurants, and like we are already in that phase. But they said that probably we're going to reach the tip of this or the phase 3 by the end of this month. So we are. I mean, they already announced that until the 30th of April, we're going to be in lockdown. For now, it's not mandatory. It's like recommended, and for not essential business.
Mm-hmm.
And how is the family back in Spain? How are they doing?
Oh, they kind of get going nuts to be inside because they already in the 5th week or 6th. I think my grandparents, I mean, when we hear about this, and because they are all there, of course, they were the ones that we put in lockdown, like mandatory, like the entire family. We said, like, you need to be inside, and we're going to provide you all that you need so you don't go outside. But today they just announced that the lockdown is going to be for 20 more days. So they announced that until the 15th of May, I think, or 16th of May, they're going to be in lockdown. And yeah, and also because like we're in the middle of the school season and everything, they say that they're going to. I mean, they're not going to have the free summer. They're going to go back to school at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow! So first they're separated from their friends and scared half to death with this word called coronavirus, virus, and now unfortunately they're going to have to go back to school over the summer. That's kind of
really bad news.
In America, I don't know. I think every state's different, but in Texas, it sounds like they sent the children home and the parents are teaching them. They sent them home with online schools, and so they won't be going. I'm not quite sure how they're going to do the graduation this year. So there's a lot of impact that people don't think, but this has hit the whole world. And I'm so glad that you were able to catch up with us from Mexico, because I know you've tried yesterday, and I hated that we missed you. It's always a pleasure to see you. But what are some, like you said, you're starting to exercise more, maybe do more healthier things. We have learned on our show, thanks to Dr. Segu, building your immunity is the best way to fight this. Is this what they're teaching you in Mexico?
Yes, I mean, as I said, there's 4 things that they're always telling us to do. That is, of course, eating healthier, doing exercise that boosts also your immune system, and try to be like mentally sane, like trying to do different things, to be in different spaces of your house and doing different connections. And the 4th one that they say is isolation, of course.
Yeah, that I was just looking, your death rate is like 174 right now, with active cases at being right at 3,000, which is a small fraction of what we have in the U.S. So
they say that probably we have 26,000 cases in this scheme that they presented yesterday, because as they say, I think it's called Sentinel. I don't know the name in English, but they show this program where they are projecting how many cases confirm and how they actually have. But yes, as we're looking, and because I also have my family in Ecuador, when I look at the numbers, it's completely different. Like in Mexico, the rate is really low. And also that concerns a lot of people, because they think that the government is not giving the information and, all conspiracy theories. But we'll see. I think with time, if this was correct, but I think so. I really think so.
Yeah, there's always people out there that are conspiracy theory people, and they exist everywhere. For some reason, something in their brain said everything is a conspiracy, and there are a lot of them on Facebook. Well, this is a conspiracy. This is a conspiracy. This is a conspiracy. Like, what are you guys talking about? It's almost like they're making up the conspiracy because they need to live in this fantasy world of conspiracies. Because if not, apparently their world isn't exciting enough for them, and a lot of stuff is not a conspiracy. So it's really made up. I was saying the other day that there's a lot of people, especially on Facebook, they'll say, "Hey, you can be on IBM TV." Oh no, this is gonna be a scam. It's gonna be wrong. No, all you have to do is say yes and things like that. But I've found that to be quite interesting. There's a lot of negativity and people out there that are just they embrace the power of negative thinking. Seriously, and they embrace the fact that everything's a conspiracy. So that really doesn't surprise me, you know. So wait, here's a positive guy who just arrived again. Dr. Fagoo.
It's not a conspiracy, is it? This is real.
Yeah. There's some people
Coronavirus is real.
who don't even believe there's some people in the United States don't believe the coronavirus is even real. In other words, it's not.
I was speaking with people yesterday.
Oh yeah,
and they were like, "Oh, this is just trying to scare the people to behave."
Exactly. There's a letter from a political front called the American. It's called American Physicians and Surgeons. Okay, seriously. And then they put out this whole thing how this whole thing is just made up. Seriously, I got it. I should send it to Dr. Sagoo. You'll go, are you kidding me? They believe this whole thing is just made up. And it's not a big group of physicians here. It's only about 4,000 of them. But so I did my research on it. I found out it's not really a physicians group. It's a political front. Like, no kidding.
It looks like
I will go dig. I wish I could find it again. I can find it because they're on the internet. And they pulled together a whole letter. And they said, well, there won't be that many people. There was only 5,000 people that have died back then. And you know what happened? 2 days later, it was 8,000. The letter was absolutely horrible. And I'll tell you what the front is. It's a front group. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to downplay this whole thing. Like everything is, all the data you read is wrong. There's really no coronavirus. It's made up by the media. We just make things up. And it just goes on and on.
And here's the thing: the data is wrong. It's higher, okay, people. It's higher because our test results are 10 days late. We get the what if we could go back and I think Steffanie hit the nail on the head. The projecting is probably better than looking at the actual results because the test results take 10 to 14. I mentioned this on Facebook and somebody says, well, yay, it took us 14 days to get our test results. And I go, oh my gosh, 14 days.
Okay. I got the name of the group. If you guys want to look at it, it's called the Association of American Physicians and Surgeons.
No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to look at this negative.
You wouldn't want to look at it, but the thing is, it's been around since 1943. And the thing is, it has 4,000 members. It is basically a political conservative nonprofit association.
Don't read that crap. I'm sorry. Excuse my language.
But well, the thing is, Kim, people need to know about it because what they're doing is they're posting their garbage on.
But that's how they get paid.
It is the data. The data is even wrong. The numbers are wrong because they go, well, if everybody infected in the United States, there still would only be 5,000 deaths or maybe 59,000. If everybody was infected in the United States, there would be 6 to 9 million people who would die. But they can't even do the math right. My actuaries can do math right because they're math majors.
These people would do a better job, and
engineers would do a better job. But
I sat down and calculated based on the wrong data. And you and I both hit the nail on the head, and we projected exactly what it was going to be in 3 weeks, and here we are. And Steffanie said the right thing, that they are projecting, which is very smart. Project it. Don't look at the data today because it's wrong because they haven't given you the results from the people that were tested 10 days ago. So the thing
remember, this came from the National Enquirer in the United States. Coronavirus cures finally found. Guess what? That's not true.
Crazy.
But it doesn't matter. This is it. And it goes on further. The worldwide deaths are only 3,000.
Dr. Sagoo.
And 11. And Dr. Sagoo, what do you got to say on this one?
Dr. Sagoo's got something to say. You got to unmute.
Unmic.
Hey, Kit, can you help me unmute him?
Yeah, make sure he's unmuted.
I can't get it. There we go.
To come with another guideline. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Now the WHO, I think WHO has to come with another guideline. So firstly, the WHO said that you have to cover your face, cover your mouth. Now I think they are coming with the ear covers. At least cover your ears from this fake news, from misinformation.
I'll cover the ears from misinformation. In case you didn't know that here in the United States.
So it is not only the face cover, so you should cover your ears as well. at least you should not be hearing the fake news and the misinformation, because the fake news and the misinformation is,
Okay, wait. It's further on. Surgical masks spread infections. Shouldn't wear those surgical masks. Dr. Segou, do you wear surgical masks when you go to surgery? Do you? And by the way, this is one of the most widely read newspapers in the United States. It's on every shelf out there. Like, no kidding. Okay. And the thing is, because we have this thing called freedom of the press, they can publish stuff like that. See, there we go.
If you pay for it, odds are it's a day.
They can publish any type of the crap. They can publish any
Yeah, but there's misinformation, and there's people that are not even in left. They're not even in the playing in the ballpark. These guys are not even left field. They're way out there. And the thing is, because we have freedom of the press, you can say almost anything that you want to, and there's no repercussions.
Steffanie, are masks a big thing in Mexico right now?
Do you guys wear masks?
Yes, I mean everybody is wearing the mask, the blue ones, the ones that does not protect you. And also, I mean, like 2 weeks ago that I went outside.
Surgical mask spread infection. Doctors shouldn't wear them.
I'm not wearing any. I'm not wearing any. But yeah, I saw like 2 to 3 people wearing the actual ones. You know, the N5.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the 5. I got that one.
At least they should teach the mask hygiene etiquette.
The proper
If we can teach the mask hygiene etiquette, then only, yes, there may be spread of infection. But if you take care of hygiene, if we are properly following the mask etiquette, I don't think there is any spread of the infection. Even you can use your clothes also. You can I'm wearing my t-shirt. This can also give you infection if I will not wash it.
Right.
So
But
anything you will not take care. Yeah.
But see, the thing is, Dr. Segou, you have a choice in the United States. You can take your medical advice from a doctor, or you can take it from a newspaper.
I don't see what happened.
Just open it and it will protect you.
To me,
open it up and shield your face. There you go.
There we go. There we go. The newspaper.
Open it. Mr. Virus.
It's just way too good. Okay, let me see how many people read that thing. They have a big subscriber base. I mean,
that's paid for media. They get paid to cause drama, to get people to read them. So you got to be careful about the misrepresentations of the truth. One of the things I like about us is we're not paid for by pharma. We're not paid for. This is one of the reasons why we started this, because we started talking amongst ourselves as a global board, and I started learning 2 weeks ahead of time what was happening in another country and that it would happen to us. And I'm like, I better lock down now. So I went out and stocked up and locked down weeks ago, like almost 6 weeks ago, and have adhered to a lot of the rules that Dr. Segou has given, because I had no idea there was a right way or a wrong way, which is some of the things that Dr. Segou is going to start his own show. Maybe you can help encourage people to watch for better habits of building your immunity and protecting yourself, but doing these things right. There's right ways and wrong ways. And I had no idea. I had no idea. And, whether if you get a mask like this, how often should you clean it? I like this mask because it doesn't feel like it's suffocating me. But, the filters, how good are the filters? So it's all about proper and our new norm. We're going to have a new normal life. We're not ever going to be able to change, because this is not going to be the last. Are they talking about that in Mexico? This is not going to be the last of a virus?
Yes. I mean, I think we kind of know now, because there's one thing that we as humans or society, we're always trying to avoid, to believe in things. When first I talked with Ankit, it was like 6 weeks ago or 5 weeks ago, I was talking to him like, I don't really know much about this. I'm still taking the metro, and he was like, well, I think you must go into this conversation. And that's the first time he invited me to join you. Because for me, I mean, I'm not saying about the whole country, but for me, at least, it was like kind of something that is going to pass, because as, our generation didn't experience something that big as this thing. No, I guess that after this we're going to take more serious. And one thing that I really like that is going to leave us this coronavirus thing is that we're like, all of us, we're going to wash our hands more often. And I love that idea, because I'm like a freak of washing my hands and all the bacteria.
No, that's good habits, right? We're going to establish new, better habits. The new norm, the new social norm. We've got every day our ambassador comes on and she shares with us our new practices, like washing hands more, namaste, how to cough, right, or sneeze.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I do that now. I sneeze like that now. Because I watch her and I mimic her when we do it. And now when I sneeze, I chew. So, but all of these things probably are building us to face bigger challenges later, right?
And also, I think one thing that I really like to think about, and I would love to happen, is that as we are here in our houses, confronting ourselves in the mirrors, and a lot of introspection and thinking about the bad things, and people like me that have their families all abroad, that we all are going to start thinking like differently. Like, I hope that we all, like, with this union that we have, like, worldwide, because this is something that is in everywhere right now, that probably we're going to start looking, at important things in a different way. Yeah.
Come on, Nick. Willie, come on, Sasha, everybody. That's right. It's a world thing. This is us. Yes, and yes, she does. Yeah. Our love, our joining together, our namaste.
Good.
Namaste.
And Sasha, if you should go, and he can't get on right now, but I'll back off so he can. But Sasha is going to be starting chess tournaments that the whole world can start watching in a couple weeks. But you can learn how to play chess with Sasha. Go to chessstars.com and learn about the different mechanisms that some of the world's greatest players have ever played, because you can actually sit there and hit a button and watch them replay the play. Master checkmate.
Master checkmate strategy.
I would love to join that.
You can give Sasha a run for his money. There we go, Steffanie. We got to get you on there. Yeah.
Hey,
you are invited next Saturday at 3:00.
Perfect. I will be there.
And we will have two masters, or maybe even grandmasters, playing the game. And you have to choose your moves, and the right moves you choose, and the right amount of crowns you will put. You can put 5, 25, and 100 crowns on each move. So it adds up, and whoever have more crowns at the end of the game wins contest. We will have 2 games.
Okay.
Do it 2 contests for the prize.
And I think winner will get 1 year free supply of masks and sanitizers.
Toilet paper. No, wait. Listen, you win things on IBM TV. You win better than gold toilet paper. I still can't find toilet paper here. We're completely out. Costco doesn't have any. It's like awful.
I have one tip for you that a friend in the US that just did it. They went on Amazon and they looked for this toilet paper that they printed with things, like the for jokes, and they have this, like, I don't know, like bills on the toilet paper and things like that. And they bought like 100 of them, like, I don't know, like 20 of them from different designs, and they have like
it's a great business to invest in right now. It's the toilet paper industry.
Trump space is on most of them right now. So I saw Trump print.
We got a virus. What should you do? Go out and buy toilet paper. The virus. What about medication? Hey, speaking of what we should do besides wash our hands, Dr. Segu, what else should we be doing besides washing our hands to get this coronavirus away? He didn't leave us, did he? Yes, he did.
Sometimes he fades out. Sometimes bandwidth. There he is.
What should we be doing besides buying toilet paper and washing our hands? Is there anything else we're going to be doing while we're at home?
When you're in isolation at home, there are so many things are there to keep you away from the coronavirus. Washing your hands is good habit when you're coming from outside your home.
Right.
And don't forget to clean your door handles, clean your doors, clean your buttons of your escalators, elevators, clean all the surfaces